Theme song. Are we ready?
We're ready. We're on live. We're streaming.
We're already on, dummy.
We're streaming on YouTube right now, and we are on air on www.chaoticradio.com.
Good morning. It's time once again for the Jeff Sargent Show, only on Chaotic Radio, just an hour from wherever you are, an hour from Hollywood. Is that right?
An hour and a half from me.
With our co-host, Jenkins.
Good morning, Los Angeles, Rancho Cucamonga, and all the ships at sea.
Producer,
Dan the Man. Rupp.
Yo.
And guess what? We have a special guest here today who got here before we did.
Yeah.
He got here.
The
almost when I got
infamous,
here.
the best character out there in Hollywood, the most talented man you'll see on stage and screen, the character of all characters, Robert Craighead.
Oh, thank you. Thanks
Say
for
good
having
morning.
me. Good morning from Rancho Cucamonga. I love saying that. Rancho Cucamonga.
Well, you know, because everyone knew it from the Jack Benny show. There's a statue of Jack Benny at the local baseball park about a mile that way.
Is there really?
Oh, there
wow.
is.
Yeah.
Actually, everybody has heard of it, but no one has actually ever been here.
Isn't that sad?
But now I have. I saw it.
You and Vic Morrow. Vic Morrow used to tape Combat about 3 miles that way.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
God.
winery. The old winery. Is that right, Dan?
Yes.
Yes.
Big Morrow, man. He was one of my idols, man.
Was he really?
Oh,
Did you ever
yeah.
meet him?
No, never got a chance to meet him. No. He was. He was. What was the movie he was killed in?
Twilight Zone, the
Twilight
movie.
Zone. The helicopter blade
Twilight
took his head
Zone,
off.
that's
July
right.
26, 1982.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was right about the time I was getting started. in
That's
my
the only
career.
thing that was really famous out here. It was nothing but grows before it all got developed when we were, small kids.
Exactly. And they would shoot, every episode of Combat was shot at that winery.
It was an old, abandoned building that was like their little fortress.
Remember, we'll get in that building over there, and they always did the same run. If you watch the reruns, all it is these two jerks are running to the Rancho Cucamonga winery, the old Thomas Vineyards.
That's where the craft services were.
He didn't want a craft service. He wanted this flask.
Combat.
He wanted his flask. So even an hour and a half. But remember, it would take anybody in Hollywood in traffic to get to Calabasas. It would take just as long. Or maybe
That's
longer.
true. That's true. It depends upon what time of day. Of course, if I hadn't headed over here at 5 o'clock in the morning, then it probably would have taken a lot longer.
Well, I'm sorry, Rob.
Yeah.
Where are you coming from? Calabasas?
West Hills, right?
Yeah, West Hills. It's another name for people who can't spell Canoga Park.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's right over there between Canoga Park and Woodland Hills. It's West Hills.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they film a lot of movies on location out there.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You pass Hidden Hills on the way here?
Hidden Hills?
Yes.
Yeah, Hidden Hills is right beside me.
And Canaan Road, which is a good way to get to Malibu.
Yeah, that's a little bit farther, but
Yeah, that's a little farther.
The Cannon Road, which used to be the biggest Denny's sign in Southern California, if you were shooting, I had to do one of the first things they did was a commercial over by Dune Cannon Road, and you'd be driving along, and then the whole car would turn yellow and gold because it would be the Denny's logo.
Well, right off of Canaan is Paramount Ranch, right? Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
That's where we were shooting, actually. You know?
where we shot. I did a guest star on Dr.
Quinn Medicine Woman.
Yeah.
When I got after that commercial, I spent a week with Johnny Cash on that terrible.
Oh wow, what an honor, man!
He was cool, but raccoons would come out on the Dr. Quinn. Raccoons would come out in the middle of the night to either hump or start eating the signs on the the wooden signs. And they'd
hump the signs?
Yeah, but they were humping on top of the, remember Dr. Quinn had the 2-story buildings?
Right.
They were humping on top of that.
Get a shot of that.
Yeah. And then one of the PA's job was to throw rocks to make the raccoons go away.
Okay, not to be a party pooper, but Jeff mentioned the call-in phone number in case anybody wants to call in.
Hey, can you read this, Robert, and do it in your radio voice?
Sure, in my radio voice. Okay. In my radio voice, call in. The new number is 909-360-8330.
Now do it one more time if you're from Texas.
If you're from Texas, you say 909-360-8330.
Wow.
All right.
Master President. Now, since this is only the second guest to arrive before we did, the great Robert Craighead, although he's not wearing anything as provocative as yesterday. So.
Oh, yeah, well, I could.
No, by all means.
Why, this is the same.
Deborah Lamb is a tough act to follow.
Yeah. I don't know.
You worked with Linnea Quigley, for God's sake.
Oh, Linnea Quigley.
Yeah, show us your hard nipples.
Wait a minute.
Now, this is the same. This is the same outfit. We saw the best Western play. We saw called.
It was called Sneaky Old Time.
Sneaky Old Time.
That was the best play. I said, Patrick, I saw you once. I grabbed
He
Patrick.
tried you for a birthday. Yeah, it was great.
Oh,
I grabbed
your
him,
birthday.
and that was, even though it was a small theater, it was cool because it was like an old airplane hangar. It was right where Harrison Ford crashed his airplane.
It was
right across the street, yeah.
It was like a Kurt Vonnegut Western. It was a time travel play, but you didn't know that. It was a bunch of guys in the bar, and they...
It was all based upon, it was based on 17 of Paul Overstreet's hit songs.
That's what amazed me so much, how this guy can make a play. Paul Overstreet is one of the best unknown country writers. He writes songs.
He's not unknown.
I mean, that the regular people, other stars are singing his music, and they don't know. You know, that's Paul Overstreet who wrote those songs.
Right. He's won. I think he's won 5 country music awards. Couple. I know he's held because I've held him in my hand. A couple of Grammys.
Yeah.
And he was. I believe he's the only songwriter to win the BMI Songwriter of the Year 5 consecutive years in a row. Yeah. So.
Yes, and to take all those songs and to make a story that just trips you out. Like I said, a country western Twilight Zone.
Yep. And written by Steve Mazur, who, by the way, has written a short film that I'm producing now with Nina Brissy, who is she was also in that show that you saw.
Oh, she was the cute waitress.
Yeah, she was the drunk lady at the bar that was drinking the martinis.
Yeah.
Could you find a way to get the cute waitress in it too?
Oh.
We like the cute waitress.
There were a few cute waitresses, weren't there?
The thing that impressed me in that was the level. You got Jeff Ross playing guitar, which
I love Jeff Ross.
His brother and I were roommates.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And just to grow up watching him, I remember he was teaching guitar lessons down on Holt Boulevard at a guitar shop back in the 80s, but he was always impressive. But the volume, there was no microphone, no PA system. It was all regular volume.
We got to hear Robert's dulcet tones. He actually sang,
the
danced,
singing
and
the music and the backup music. It was perfect. It was just, it couldn't get any better in there.
Whoa! Wow,
and the guy playing the fiddle.
Oh, Zender, yeah.
That guy was amazing.
Yeah, he's fantastic. We brought him in he came out from Kentucky. He is Rupert Hitzig's nephew.
Wow.
And Rupert Hitzig, as you know, was producer, director of the wonderful hit movie Jaws 3 in 3D.
Yeah, it was Jaws 3D in theaters.
I think he'll know all about that.
He did a movie which is getting a lot of attention because it's this weird 80s movie called Night Creep.
Oh, wow. No, I never caught that one. No.
Yeah, it's been running on Comet. I had no idea it's the only thing he directed. It's got Shannon Tweed. It's like an all 80s movie. You know what I mean? And all the stuff, he never talked about it. That night hanging out with you, he never mentioned it. You know? but it's got this weird. The cast is all. I don't want to say Alan Gorwitz, a guy who Scorsese and De Palma used to use all the time, and he's playing a slasher in this weird.
Don't know the movie.
It's a Fright Night ripoff from like '89, directed by Rupert.
By Rupert Hitchcock. I love Rupert. He's a great guy.
Yeah. So tell us, what was your first thing, Rob? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Texas originally, and I came out here when I was, I guess, 18, 19 years old. I'm pretty much right out of high school. I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, studied there, went through their program. They wouldn't let you act professionally until you had completed the program. Of course, you had to be invited back for each year.
Oh, wow.
And some great actors. It's the oldest English-speaking acting school in America. It's like great actors like James Cagney, Edward G. Robinson.
Wow.
Robert Redford.
That's quite a landmark there.
John Cassavetes. Actually went to school there with Nick Cassavetes.
I love Nick Cassavetes.
Wow.
And
From Face Off, and he became a pretty good director, actually.
Oh, yeah. He directed The Notebook, Alpha Dog.
Alpha Dog's great.
He wrote the movie Blow. So Nick and I ran around together back in the day at the American Academy and had a lot of fun.
For about 10 minutes, Nick was one of the original directors on Iron Man.
Oh, wow. And then John Favreau took over.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and then he's made a huge franchise out of it.
Yeah.
Now he's doing, Favreau is doing The Lion King live.
Really?
You know who?
Who's he playing?
He's directing it, but did you hear who they got to play Mufasa in The Lion King live?
No.
James Earl Jones.
There you go.
Same guy in the
There you
cartoon.
go. There you go.
Wow, he's been around for a long time.
Another
He's
role
still-
I missed out to
Another role.
Okay, I've got a question coming in from Illinois.
What I told you many
all the
times.
way from Chicago, right?
All the way from Chicago, so they're on like a 3-hour delay, and
The Mistake on the Lake.
and for some reason they text me and they text the station. They want to hear about Jaws.
3D.
They were afraid to go in the bathtub after watching Jaws.
Well, you know what? We got Robert on today, but if you text tomorrow, I will tell you any Jaws story you want to know from my beautiful, now in its 7th printing book, Just When You Thought It Was Safe, A Jaws Companion.
We're taking calls on Robert Craighead's career. Look him up on IMDb.
The man missed Jaws. Hey, in fact, Robert, talk to us. What'd you get your SAT card on?
The very first job I did was Cagney and Lacey.
Wow.
One of the very first episodes of Cagney and Lacey. And I played a radio disc jockey, actually.
Wow. Did you get murdered? Or?
And no. It was, I did that. Then I did, I think the next film I did was Cujo.
That's right.
I wanted to ask you about that. Now, you were like the mailman delivering a package, right?
No, I wasn't. No. I wasn't. I was like I was kind of like a. We were delivering an engine hoist, a cherry picker.
Oh yeah. You and Ed Lauder, right?
No, I can't remember the actor's name now.
Mills
to be honest
Watson.
with-
I remember
That's a-
seeing.
that's a good
I remember
name.
seeing a still where you were walking up to the house, and
Yeah, we delivered it into the barn. We were the
To the
first
po-
ones
yeah.
to encounter Cujo.
Does he bite you?
No, we got away. And it was very funny scene, and I think that's the reason they did away with it.
They cut that
they
scene
cut
out.
that scene out. Actually, they cut about 30 minutes of the movie out from the master. But it's and basically taking a lot of the comedy out of the film. So
That's so weird because they didn't want to. I mean, even now, if you look at the DVD box,
well, if you've read the book, there is always Stephen King's always got his little subtle humor in there.
Right.
Of course, that's where I become great friends. We're actually before that
With Dee Wallace.
With Dee Wallace, and Dee Wallace and I are still very, very close.
you
friends.
and Dee Wallace have a real good chemistry on screen, and I went to support your one film,
Flowers in December.
Flowers in December. I was there, and that was a great movie, man. It threw me off at the end. It was full of surprises.
Full of definitely.
Now,
full
how
of
could people view this Flowers in December?
Flowers in December. How can you view that? I don't know. I've got a copy of it. I mean, we've got copies on DVD.
Could we just?
I don't know if you can get it on.
Order it on Amazon or what?
I don't know about that. You know, reach out to me on Facebook. I'll find out. JT Molnar and Chris Ivansevic are the directors.
Oh,
JT directed.
No Remake Pictures.
But No Remake Pictures.
Yeah.
Who did the movie Outlaws and Angels? Right after that. But anyway, I'll find out and see if there's any way people can see that film. It's a great film.
And since Halloween was only a couple days ago, we're going right back to Cujo.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go to Halloween.
That's coming up in a minute.
We're going up to Halloween.
You and I both have stories from that day we were filming.
But we'll only hear Robert's today. Let me ask you, when you encounter Cujo, was this when the German Shepherd was wearing the St. Bernard costume, or was it an actual St. Bernard?
No, there was actual St. Bernards, yeah. No, it was, they had two dogs, a mechanical dog and a guy in a dog suit.
Wow.
I don't remember a German Shepherd being in a dog suit.
Yeah, no, the main dog in Cujo.
I dealt with the main dog, I guess, because it scared the shit out of me. Oh,
wow.
Can I say that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was, we got our horn right here.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you, when you did Cujo, you already worked with Dee Wallace before then?
Yes. Actually, right after I got out of acting school, I was cast in a world premiere play called Emeritage, which Dee Wallace was producing along with her husband, Christopher Stone.
Yeah. Wow, the late great.
Yeah, the late great Christopher Stone. And
also in Cujo with you.
Right, exactly. And we worked on that show for raising the money and everything for like over a year. And then it ran for about 6-8 months in Beverly Hills. It was the history of America a la Monty Python. It was really crazy off-the-wall comedy. And, there was 8 actors, and we played like over 200 different characters throughout history. So, yeah.
No, but you were saying, I also wanted to ask you, your academy, when you were studying, who was your most famous instructor?
My most famous instructor? I don't know, Jimmy Carlin, maybe?
Wow.
Jimmy Luisi. Do you remember James Carlin from Cagney and Lacey?
And Dark Shadows before that.
And Dark Shadows. James Luisi from the Rockford Files. He was Joan Rockford's boss.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Wow. Yeah. Look at you. You went to Character Academy High.
I went to Character Academy High.
So after Cagney and Lacey, did you have a scene with Carlin? Did he sing?
No. Actually, the way I got that part was
you slept with Cagney and Lacey.
I slept with Cagney. No, actually, I was.
I'm calling Barney Rosenweek.
I was in the very first season when Meg Foster.
Wow.
Not Sharon Gless.
She plays a great villainess.
Yeah. She's wonderful. But during the first season, anyway, Beth Maitland from Young and the Restless plays Tracy Abbott, was doing this show Emeritage with me and with Dee Wallace. And
she also did a guest shot on Star Trek. Beth Maitland.
Oh, yeah. She's a wonderful actress. And she's been on Emmy Award-winning actress on Young and the Restless for, 35 years, something like that.
Daytime Emmy.
Yeah. I'll take one.
Fair enough.
But anyway, she at the time, she was this was before she was on that show, she was working for Diane DeMeo and Associates, which is the casting directors for that show. And Diane had been to see the show the night before, and I said, I was joking around with Beth the next day, and I was going, so when am I going to be on Cagney and Lacey? And so she talked to Diane, and Diane said, oh, yeah, he was great, And so she looked. There was a part for a disc jockey that came up. And anyway, so that's how I got my first gig. Yeah,
bravo!
I owe it all to Beth.
No,
and Dee.
And wow! By the way, who was the biggest when you were an up and comer and you're doing the episode of the weeks? Who was the biggest dick to you as a up and comer? Who was the worst celebrity you guessed it on?
The worst celebrity I ever worked with. I don't want to name names, but I will. I was guest starring on a show. called Riptide. Remember that?
Yeah, Perry King.
Perry King. So you know.
Yeah,
We talked to one of the writers, and we were at the comic convention.
I'm doing a book. I'm doing a book on Stephen J. Cannell and stories travel.
Oh, really? So, well, anyway, so they're doing the scene, and they do the flip side, and this is one of my first jobs, and Perry King and Joe Penny are standing there talking to me. They turn the camera around on me, and he's like making faces and shit. Now, I don't know, maybe he thought that was funny, but for a young kid who's never been in front of the camera before, I was like, what a dick. Sorry, Perry.
I think he was trying to make you feel at ease.
Yeah, right. Make me feel at ease.
Xander Berkeley gave me a similar story. He got his.
I love Xander.
Amazing.
Hi, Xander.
Hey,
I know
Xander.
Xander's out there, yeah.
Xander did one of the last. Xander's in the very last episode of The Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
And he and his little sister used to watch My Favorite Martian. And he said he had all these serious acting questions for Bill Bixby. And he said Bill Bixby is just phoning it in. I mean, he's not even there for the eye line. He just gets up and leaves. And Xander Berkeley is just so crushed.
I saw Xander. I saw Xander in a short film at the Pasadena Film Festival a couple of years ago, and it was phenomenal. He played this old rock and roll star. And anyway, then I'm in Atlanta. Where we were filming Too Close to Home, and I went to the Walker-thon. And
Walker, Texas Ranger.
No,
no.
Walker-thon.
Oh, the zombies. I'm sorry.
Walking
Yes.
Dead. Yes.
Oh, you mean was it Walker or Stalker or was it Walker-thon?
Walker Stalker.
Yeah, the Walker Stalker.
That's all we need is Chuck Norris to come in and start spin kicking all the zombies.
No, he'd just kick all of our ass right now. Yeah. But anyway, then I saw Xander. And he was over signing autographs and stuff. So I went up to him and I just told him how much I loved him in that short film. Then,
Did you say $40?
No, actually, he
had you a signed picture?
He didn't charge me anything to compliment him. But then I saw him the next, or maybe it was that night. They had a Halloween party. Tom Payne, who plays Jesus on Walking Dead, had this huge Halloween party. And I ran into Xander there, and we talked more and had a few drinks and became pretty good friends. And we still keep in contact. Actually, he was just given the award, the Carney Award for outstanding, character actor. The once a year Art Carney Award.
Yeah. I mean, you look at everything he's done. I mean,
phenomenal. I love him on Walking Dead.
He's in Mommy Dearest, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, Terminator
forever.
2, he gets impaled through the throat.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, another friend from the United Kingdom, Peter Daly.
Good morning, Peter Daly.
I see him on my Facebook Live. I see the British
Yeah.
flag.
Good afternoon, Peter Daly.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
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 He
Chip,
said-
chip, cheerio.
It's jolly good, Joe.
Pip, pip.
He said, "What is the best last horror film or thriller that you've seen?"
Robert?
I just watched one on Netflix.
Train to Busan.
No. This one's called Gerald's Game.
Oh,
you seen this? It's
no,
based-
but I've been in love with Carly Gugino since my second interview with her.
my
Holy
God,
crap.
She's gorgeous, yeah. And Bruce Greenwood's phenomenal in it. And it's based on and I'm watching it. I didn't realize it was a Stephen King novel. And I was watching it, and I'm like going, this is very reminiscent of Stephen King. and sure enough, it was. Yeah.
It's misery.
And it
It's
was great. I recommend everybody. I think it just came out on Netflix. It's a Netflix original movie.
Came out beginning of October, yeah.
There you go, Peter. Look that up and spread
Look it
it
up.
all over England.
Gerald's Game.
What's the best
Gerald's
thriller with Robert Craighead in it? In case
best,
Peter's...
the best thriller with Robert Craig.
I'm very surprised how our audience is growing in England.
I love England.
It's great.
I love England too.
May the sun never set. on the English
This
Empire.
is great. The Jeff Sargent show's only been in existence for what, 2 months?
Put it back in the box, narcissist. Our guest is here.
That's why it's growing, because we got people like Robert coming in.
Best thriller with you in it. What's the best thriller you did?
I don't know. I guess the latest one would probably be The Last Heist. If you saw that one with Henry Rollins.
Mike Mendez.
Yeah, Mike Mendez directed.
Talk about our pal Mike Mendez. Did you like him?
Oh, I love Mike Mendez. Yes, I'd love to work with him again. Yeah, but that's the most recent one. Yeah, it was,
Henry Rollins, the guy in the bank.
Yeah.
I thought you were great. That's on Netflix now too.
I play and Victoria Pratt.
Oh,
Wonderful actress.
Adorable too.
John J. York. Also,
AKA the guy from Werewolf, one of the first series ever to run on the Fox network.
Actually, it's funny because John York and I worked on a movie in 1984 with Gary Busey called The Bear about
Bear Bryant.
I will
Wow,
kill
the
that,
famous coach.
I will kill that fucking bear.
No,
That.
moron. It was about the Bear Bryant, the legendary Southern coach.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
That's right.
quote.
On my resume, I put The Bear, and then I put in parentheses Gary Busey, so that people don't get it confused.
If Robert Craig had walked on set and said, "I will kill that bear," hey, Robert, he's been drinking.
But anyway, it was really cool.
You can't kill Gary Busey
because John York, Michael McGrady, Michael Prokopuk, a bunch of great actors, character actors. Well, John went on to be on General Hospital for 30-something.
And Werewolf.
And, he was Werewolf as well. But we still keep in contact.
Oh, you and John York still talk?
Yeah, but
Cool.
we ran into each other on the set. I mean, it was like I saw his name on the call sheet, and it was like we go, oh my God! It had been years. It had been years since we'd seen each other.
Wow.
And how is it to work with Henry Rollins? Is he a jerk? I mean,
Oh, nice.
Is he a nice guy? Because I met him once.
Actually, Henry Rollins is the nicest guy in the world.
Okay, I met him once, and I think I caught him at a bad time.
No, he's a sweetheart.
Well, that's the thing. You never know what the mood of the situation is, because some people, that might be the only time.
He was wiping his ass in a porta potty, and Dan,
Yeah,
can I get an autograph? Autograph.
Well, no, I mean, I didn't work opposite Henry Rollins. I worked with Victoria Pratt and John York. But
Are you a cop or a hostage?
But
I think you're a cop, right?
Yeah, I was the captain. Yeah. But the police captain. But but I did talk with Henry at the rap party as well as on set.
That's amazing.
And he is just a wonderful, wonderful person.
That's
then I ran
cool.
into him a few times, like at Mexicali restaurant. Yeah, and great guy.
Yeah, he's got that big, thick neck with the veins
Yeah,
popping out. He was great in that
Heat.
Netflix series, what's it called? American Anarchy or whatever it's called. He was in a couple episodes of that. And he was great in that. So I'm a big Netflix guy. That's what I don't.
I'm a big Netflix guy too. I love that. But actually, right now, I'm a big Hulu fan.
Oh, yes, a Hulu fan.
Hulu.
You know why?
Because coming November 14th,
Plug.
streaming live all 13 episodes of
Future Man!
From Seth Rogen and
Yes.
Evan Goldberg.
Evan Goldberg, of course, the creator of The Goldbergs, now in its 100th episode.
Janitor by day.
Savior of the world by any other time.
By video game.
By video game. No, actually, they traveled through time. I played Detective Skarsgård, who they killed my partner, and as a vendetta, I'm like out to get them. And they keep popping back and forth in my life throughout history.
So basically, you're Lieutenant Gerard in The Fugitive.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. What'd you do with my leg? Oh, my arm. Wait. The one-legged man. Wait, or the one-armed man. That's what it was.
So how many episodes is this?
It's 13 episodes, and I will appear in 6 of them.
Wow.
And it starts, all episodes will be available on November 14th on Hulu. If you don't have Hulu...
you're stupid.
Well, you know, but I suggest...
I don't think that's an exact quote from our guests.
You can get like a 30-day free trial, and just sign up and watch all the episodes.
Yeah, just watch
of
all the
Future Man.
Binge watch Future Man and bail.
And then then you'll probably fall in love with Hulu and you'll stay on. You know,
So tell us about working on the days you were filming.
Well, that's usually how it works.
I love Seth Rogen's crew of writers and producers. They're the ones who created the show. They did Sausage Party, This Is the End, all of these great comedies that, I mean, and they came up with this. It's Ariel Shafir, Kyle Hunter, Ben Carlin, all a bunch of great writers, and they're just hilarious to work with. And they're open. You get to create and improvise and
That's what I like,
do, you know. Of course, I was a little hesitant in the beginning because, I mean, their writing is so phenomenal and hysterical that I didn't want to mess with it too much. But then as I got to know them a little bit, they started letting me. And of course, my character evolved as I was only signed on to do 2 episodes, and then I wound up doing 6.
Well, after you do a few episodes, don't you get in like, okay, I got a comfort zone now, and then you could like.
Oh, well, I developed the character, you know, that and got really comfortable in who I was playing, and so it's off the rail comedy, man. It is. Derek Wilson, Josh Hutcherson from the Hunger Games, Derek Wilson from Preacher, which is also another series.
Why haven't you done Preacher yet?
I don't know. Let's talk to those. It's the same producers.
So. That's what I was going to say. So you've got a series with them, but you could easily jump to their show.
Well, maybe they'll like me enough to bring me over there. Let's see, because they had already finished shooting by the time that season. By the time we started Future Man. So.
Was Seth Rogen ever on set when you were filming?
Yes, he was. He directs the first couple of episodes. Unfortunately, I'm not in the first couple of episodes. But, you know, Seth's a great guy. He was very involved. He was at the table readings. He was at the rap party, and he's been out on the road promoting the show. You know, he's a great guy. He's a phenomenal.
I like the costuming. I was looking at it on IMDb yesterday, and right now it's great costume design.
Oh, there's some wonderful actors.
The props and everything, and the guns and.
Well, I think from what I understand, it's one of the largest budgeted series that Hulu has undergone.
Wow.
I mean, and that includes Handmaid's Tale, you know. So they have a lot of special effects because you know you're doing time travel, but I mean it's off the rails humor. It's so funny. The sets were phenomenal. The costumes were great. Makeup was fantastic. Yeah.
Did you film at different studios or?
No, everything was done at Sony Studios, except things that we did on location, which was all over the place. Yeah.
What's great about Hulu and about Netflix is they're kind of giving an FU to the networks.
Yes.
Kind of like what we're doing here. We're doing stuff here you can't do on fucking FM radio. Because I could say fuck, asshole, motherfucker. It doesn't matter. And
well, yeah, there's some F-bombs in this show, that's for sure.
Yeah. But it does, this show, it does go through censors, but it goes up right away, you know?
Yeah. As long as I don't break any copyright laws playing songs by bands that have a stick up their ass like the Misfits, Danzig.
Whoa, there's name dropping.
Whoa, name dropping, whoa.
To quote Bruce Campbell, you're going to have to pick up these names you're dropping.
Yeah, you're going to have to pick up. That's why you're in that control booth there.
Yeah, that's why I'm locked up in this cage.
No, we're a couple days after Halloween, so I got to ask Mr. C about your role as Cop 1 in Return of the Living Dead.
Return of Cop number 1.
Cop number 1. Because the zombie that eats you.
Brains.
Yeah,
send more cops.
Send more cops.
Yeah, no, that was one of my first jobs. And
wow.
It was It was a lot of fun because I mean, who knew that film would have wound up becoming such a
Cult film.
classic? You know,
Patrick and his friends crashed that set.
I saw you die actually over in. It was shot in Silmar where they killed you.
right?
Yeah, I was there for that.
Oh, you were?
I was.
Wow.
You know,
it's amazing that it's the people that you run into again years later. I was doing this film called Saving Lincoln, and I was playing Edwin Stanton, Secretary of War, and they're like the makeup artist Michael Spatola was putting the beard on me, and this was like a 3-hour process. And anyway, I noticed on his makeup box there was a little button that said "More brains," and I'm like going, you're a Return of the Living Dead fan? And he's like going, actually, that was my very first job.
that's
makeup.
true. Wow.
And I'm like going, oh my God! And then I told him, sure enough, yeah, we worked together on that.
Do you have a call sheet from that? I've been trying to find where
I have everything. I have the original script from Return of the Living Dead call sheet. You know, it's funny because I used to I don't do it so much anymore, but in the early days of my career, I would always keep
everything.
the call sheets, the scripts, because back then also they would deliver the script and the call sheet to your house. And
Those days are over.
yeah. So it's like
Get
now
your ass in here and get the script.
or no, they email it to you, you know, or whatever. You know, you show up on set and there it is. But you know, most of the time they're going to send it to you via email, so that you have it in advance. You read it on your iPad. But one of my most prized possessions is, we were talking about Riptide earlier, is a call sheet that I have. And with George Clooney.
Oh, that's right, in your Riptide episode.
And the Riptide episode, it was the very first job he had, because he and I were talking, and he goes, yeah, this is my first job. He goes, I just got here from Ohio. He had been doing PM Magazine out in Ohio, I think Cleveland or someplace like that. And his dad...
Nick Clooney of AMC and formerly NBC, local KNBC.
Was it KNBC or KTLA?
I
he was like the anchor, news anchor. But that's the reason he came out here, and so George came with him. And of course, you know, Rosemary Clooney
is his aunt. Yeah,
is his aunt. And anyway, but he was so excited because he goes, I get my SAG card on my show. yeah. And anyway, we became friends there for half a minute or so, you know. I ran into him several times in the early part of my career. I remember the screening, the premiere of Return of the Living Dead at the Directors Guild. I remember I was going in to sit down, and all of a sudden I hear this voice, Dragon! You know, and it's Clooney, and he's... and he comes out and he says, what are you doing here? You know, and I said, well, I'm in this thing for a few minutes, you know, for a second. Anyway, he goes... and his roommate, Tom Matthews,
in the movie,
was
the
star of the movie.
Tom Matthews plays Beverly's boyfriend.
Right.
Beverly, and I remember Beverly, when Clooney came to the set, and Beverly and her twin sister was there, and she goes, did you feel anything? You know, because all the people were talking about how hot George Clooney was at the time.
And that was... And that was before he was George Clooney.
Yeah. He was merely Rosemary Clooney's nephew at the time.
He was just George Clooney.
I
He
remember
wasn't
him.
George Clooney.
Yeah, capital letters.
When was Facts of Life? I remember him in Facts of Life.
That was the last season after he did
that was the
that.
last.
Because when you did Riptide, the hilarious thing about Riptide.
I love you, Diane Delano.
Oh.
She just said that I'm her secret crush.
I adore Diane Delano. I met her at the SAG-AFTRA Bank,
do too.
cashing a check.
Really?
Yes.
Cashing those residual checks, Diane.
Oh, she just got caught.
You've been named and shamed, Diana.
She's one of my favorite people in the world.
She is great. You know, and well, tell us about, so when you're shooting the scene where you're eaten by the zombies, tell us about that. Were any of them overzealous?
Yes, they were all overzealous. You know, and this was right about the time that they had another friend of mine, John Eric Hexum, had just been killed.
Accidental suicide, yeah.
Well, was it? It wasn't suicide.
He was screwing around with a prop, though.
Yeah, it was all right. The series Cover Up, and he was playing with his gun on set, and he pulled the trigger. He said, "I wonder what would happen." You know, and this was back whenever they put blanks in the gun, and the concussion made a vegetable out of him and killed him. And so the rules and the laws pertaining to handling weapons on the set were just, I mean, starting to change. But so I had a shotgun which had, you know, the wads in it, you know, that were not
10 years before Brandon Lee was killed in '94 in South Carolina, North Carolina.
And so I'm like telling Dan O'Bannon, you know, of course this is a low budget film,
right,
and the extras keep coming in and running in front of the
shooting zone,
and I'm like going, you know, you got to stop these guys from coming in front of the shotgun, you know, because the camera doesn't have any depth. They could keep wide on either side of it, and you won't have a problem. You know, it still look the same. But anyway, he's don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. And
and I can't thank you enough. When I did the New Beverly Return of the Living Dead screening, you came down for that. I really appreciated that.
Oh my God, I was thrilled. You know what? And I had no idea. It was funny though because I had no idea that people remembered me from the.
Well, hell yeah, you're top one. Because after you're killed, send more cops, and then the paramedics arrive, they get eaten, and then send more paramedics. It was one of the best repeated lines of the film. You know?
Yeah, send more cops.
Everybody uses that. Send more. I mean, that's such bumper stickers, everything.
Oh yeah. Well,
T-shirts.
Well, I was curious if you check your call sheet because you were killed in the cemetery.
Right.
And even Bill Stout and Beverly, they can't remember where the cemetery was.
Oh yeah, I probably have that. You see, because what I was saying earlier, you know, they would deliver it in an envelope to your house, you know, the script and the call sheet and everything like that, you know. And I would keep everything in the original envelope, right. And then whenever I was through filming the movie or whatever, I have like tubs of these. You know, these Rubbermaid tubs full of keepsake items.
Wow.
So I still keep different things from projects I work on.
But I love that you Riptide with George Clooney as like actor 4 or 5 on the call sheet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe even farther down than that.
Wow. Bro. No,
Actor 9, 10, 12.
Did you talk to Stephen Cannell when you did the show at all?
No. I was pretty low on the totem pole. Oh, but Don Stark was also, he played him and George Clooney.
I interviewed Don, by the way.
I love Don Stark.
Amazing guy. Don Stark is the father on the 70s show.
70s
yeah,
show,
he was Laura, God, I'm blanking on her last name.
And he's on a new series that's coming out about the Tonight Show. Also on Hulu.
Yay!
And I was just talking with him on Facebook the other day about it, you know. So he's oh wait, Diane says, I need my own series. And yes, Diane, you be my wife.
Wow.
Yes, that would be awesome. Yeah. So I want to make a quick plug here.
While you're here, we're going to plug everything you want to plug, brother.
I would like, because right now I have a campaign going on Seed and Spark for this film that I was talking about, Amazing Grace, with Nina Brissy from Sneaky Old Time that I did. I've done a couple of shows with her. We have she's a wonderful actress, and Steve Mazer wrote the script. He also wrote the movie Liar Liar.
Wow, Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Those are some residuals, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Well, yeah, Steve's a wonderful writer. He's got a new movie coming out with Greg Kinnear that Greg directed, also called The Philosophy of Phil. But this script is about a relationship between a father and a daughter. The father's an alcoholic, a veteran who's dealing with PTSD, and the daughter's having to take care of him. His wife's left him, and anyway, it's just a relationship between the two, and going over like 3 days of their life. So we're trying to raise the funds to make this film. Right now, we're like over halfway there. One of the ways that we're trying to raise contributions is I am currently accepting a challenge from anyone who donates. We said $100, but today on your show, in honor of being on your show, that I will do a challenge for a $50 contribution. You heard it here for the first time. A $50 contribution to Amazing Grace on SeedandSpark.com. You can go to my Facebook page. You can find it. You can go to Facebook, Seed and Spark, or Amazing Grace's face page. Anyway, go to SeedandSpark.com, look up Amazing Grace, make a $50 contribution. Tell me your challenge. I will, any crazy thing you, what's the craziest thing you could come up with for me to do, Jeff?
Is to put in what they put in, or double it.
Oh, well, that's not that crazy. No, I'm talking about like a challenge, like eat a bug, or like...
we want you to kill our executive producer, Dan Rupp, with a rock.
Yeah. How about
Dan, come here for a sec.
Gag the producer with his
Kill Dan Rupp with a rock.
with his filthy mouth.
That's like mean. No, that's like
vulgar
and illegal. Okay.
Do like a Wings Hauser Southern accent when you do it. Come here, you.
Dan's a nice guy
here.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. He's the first guy here. He cleaned up the place for
And he brought you fruit and vegetables.
You know what? I wish the rest of the people that come into the station recognize that.
By the way, is Diane Delano still on the line?
Wait a second.
Diane's in my
I just
favorite-
got an offer here.
What did she
Derek
say?
Frost, who and Kevin, they executive produced the show, the bluegrass musical I did called Paradise.
Wow.
Also with Nina Brissy. And they just offered to executive produce if you want us. And yes,
Wow.
we would love to have you executive produce.
This is where the magic happens.
This is where the magic happens. Okay, so
Rancho Cucamonga, the city of dreams.
what is the challenge you guys want me to do for you guys to executive produce, Garrick?
Show yourself on camera.
Okay, you've got me. But yes, we would love to have you guys executive produce. So wow, that's awesome.
I also wanted to say, if she's still listening to you, Diane Delano, I just wanted to say this real fast, is in my second favorite movie of all time behind Jaws. She is the fake flight attendant from Miracle Mile.
Oh,
She is in Miracle Mile is one of my two movies that I've loved my entire life. And she is wonderful as the Johnny's customer in the flight attendant uniform, but she's not a real flight attendant. She borrowed her sister's uniform, and she's practicing putting on the air sick bag. She's practicing putting on the airbag in case the plane goes down. And they turn to her for help, and it's a friend or her sister's outfit.
Well, we're waiting for is for them to bring back Northern Exposure. She
was wonderful in that.
Fantastic in Northern Exposure, and the way that they keep bringing these shows back, it's inevitable that they will. So
Well, Delano, I hope if you're listening, Diane Delano, I also recognize your voice from when you were Big Barda. She did the Superman cartoons as Stampa. She was one of Darkseid's women. She worked with Ed Asner on the Superman
she's
cartoon.
done so many freaking fantastic things. I mean, she's amazing.
You almost hate for a character person. I mean, you love a steady gig. Diane is one of these go-to chicks who's been in a ton of stuff before and after. Even though it's a blessing of a regular check, when you become a character, does that limit your? When Xander Berkeley was suddenly the guy from this.
No, you mean Xander Berkeley? Do you think he's like restricted for Walking Dead? No,
but like 24. I mean, when you look at him on 24, he was just amazing.
But you may get restricted for maybe they'll want you to play that same type character for a little while, but then as soon as you do something different, then then that's what gives you the freedom as a character actor is they know that you can handle just about anything they throw at you. Like, did you see Halloween by any chance?
Yeah, of course.
How do I get a copy of Halloween?
What
do I do?
You can see it on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
That's what I saw.
Just put search and it'll come right up.
That's what me and we were at the studios Where were we at when we saw each other that
Was
day?
that as L.A. Center Studios? Was that right?
That's when they shot the Burton.
No.
I shot K-Pax there, LA Center
We
Studios.
were out there in the slum where they filmed.
Well, actually, we also filmed part of Future Man at that same place where you and I were at.
We were it was the gun that fought, the gun range was across the street. Remember?
Yeah. What is that?
It was downtown L.A.
I know, but what's the name of those studios?
It was.
Anyway, nonetheless.
Anyway, yeah. But that's a cool little little place, man.
Yeah,
to film.
and we filmed at Sony. I mean, Sony or Hulu rented that place out to film some stuff that we did for Future Man there as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like blown away. I was going, oh, I'm back here again. Yeah.
And it's good. It's affordable place, even for independent filmmakers to go there and
Sure.
They have some great rooms, the courtrooms and.
Yeah, courtrooms in the police station that we used it for that, and it's just I'm sure that they charged Sony probably more than they charged an independent filmmaker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think when we ran into each other there, I think you just got a new car right then.
Had I? Oh, was that my Pimp Daddy Caddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. My Pimp Daddy, I love that car. I still have it. Yeah, I've had it a couple of years now.
All right, management just sent me a text. We will donate to your cause.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, do they have a challenge for me?
What's the challenge? He does some crazy stuff like wearing tutus and.
He said the challenge is to add Dan as a friend on your Facebook.
Oh yes,
that's kind
there
of
you
what
go.
I got a crazy Facebook page because if you don't like clowns, you're not gonna like my Facebook.
I love
page.
clowns.
I've got a lot of
He's
clowns.
AKA Slappy Weinstein.
So
Wait, do you like the movie It?
Oh, that was a great movie.
Oh, yeah, you like clowns? Yeah, that's a
He
great.
he performs on stage with these guys there's a punk rock band. They're called the Yeasty Boys, and they play cover tunes dressed as clowns. And he goes as a presidential clown and tosses out balloons and rotten candy.
Bags of glass.
Oh wait, Joan wants me to do one of my evil laughs. Okay.
I think I've heard that on a video game.
Okay, wait, maybe. All right, my favorite evil laugh is from the end of Halloween, where I'm like,
when I saw you when I saw pictures, you weren't wearing that outfit when you were like a tooth fairy, the weed fairy, right?
yeah. Do you know what was great about that movie is they let me decide on all my own costumes.
Oh, that you're with your magic wand and the Daisy Duke.
You know what I did? I went because I said I will do this. I will do this part in this movie if you let me pick out some of my own wardrobe. And they're like going, okay, sure, go ahead. So I went to Walmart and I went into the women's section and I found the largest pair of cutoffs that they had. And believe it or not, they fit. And so that's where I got those Daisy Dukes. And of course, I had some great boots that are, what is it? They're Stingray boots. Made out from a stingray fish. And so,
Really?
I'm wearing them right now. So
Wow.
these are actually in the movie. Yeah.
Wow. That's real stingray, huh?
Real stingray.
Wow.
Toughest material that you can find out
tougher
there.
than shark skin.
Tougher than shark skin, tougher than, I don't want to go there, but used to back in the old days before it started being a horrible thing is elephant skin was the toughest that you could get, but of course I wouldn't want to wear elephants now.
That Halloween, you were okay. That one scene that you were filmed, there was a court. Was that the courtroom? You were a judge, or it was a courtroom, wasn't it?
Wait, I just got a challenge from Mike Myers. I'm in for 50 if you sing I'm a little teacup short
Go
and
for it.
stout. Okay. I'm a little teacup short and stout. Here is my handle. Here is my spout. Tip me over and pour me out. There you go.
Robert
That
used
just cost you $50, Mike.
Robert used to. Robert had to sing that for Harvey Weinstein.
Yes, I did. I've done a lot worse for a lot less.
Okay, now back up.
We're on live with Robert Craighead, Lloyd from Halloween.
No, Robert, where does the Daniel Trejo character come in Halloween? I mean, he's such a big NA guy, Narcotics Anonymous. I mean, he goes to all the conventions still, like, for 40 years.
I'm sorry, who is this?
The guy with the taco truck.
Racist.
No, he does. He's got his own Daniel Trejo's tacos.
I hear they're very good.
What's the name again?
Daniel Trejo.
Oh, Danny Trejo.
Oh, I thought you were being funny.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't being funny. I missed it because I looked down at my cell phone.
Were you that bored?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big NA guy, and then he's in Halloween. I mean, what's
come on, man. I mean, he's because that's the type of characters he's known for.
Yeah.
His drug dealers and whatnot,
Right.
Prison
bad
guys.
and not that, and he's completely sober. I mean, the guy.
Oh yeah, totally.
Never. It was really funny that year. I did 3 projects with Danny. It's really funny. I did a series, or a pilot for a series that he produced called "What Would Trejo Do?" and I don't know why it didn't take off, but it was all about like it was like kind of like a reality show following Danny Trejo around, and things would happen to him in his life. And then he would like his mind's eye, he would like go, what would Trejo do? And then it would like go into this visualization of him kicking somebody's ass,
No, it's funny because I met him once. Just so you know, I was in rehab.
Oh, hold on. The Dan Rub rehab mention of the hour is now complete.
Love me talking about rehab in Whiteside and Riverside, and he actually came in and gave a speak for about 2 hours, or he gave a speak for an hour. Then he stayed for an hour afterwards.
By the way, God bless him.
Had lunch with us, and
that's really cool.
He was a great guy.
He's
man.
a very generous man,
Yeah.
very community conscious, and we were filming that pilot. What would Trejo do? And we were like on some street in the San Fernando Valley, and people, of course, his fans would like gather in droves,
wow.
and he would like stop what we were doing, and he would go over and sign autographs, pose for pictures with people.
Oh.
He's just a super sweet guy, and he and I are also represented by the same agent, Gloria Hinojosa.
Wow.
Yeah, over at Amzell Eisenstadt, Fraser, and Hinojosa. There's a plug for AEFA.
Yeah, you hear that, Gloria?
Yeah.
One of your clients is working for you.
She's pretty much built his career for him over. She's been his agent for years. I've only been with her for a few years, but I was with her like 20-something years ago, and then I got stupid and left, and finally found my way back.
Robert, how many agents have you had through your career?
More than I could tell you.
More than you could count on one hand?
Yeah, but Gloria is one of the best, that's for sure, if not the best. That's what I'm going to say. Gloria and Mike are the best agents in the business.
Yeah.
Mike Eisenstadt.
Thank you, Gloria.
Yes. I love Gloria and Mike, yeah. Wow. But yeah, no, I couldn't say. At least a dozen, maybe more.
Is that a common thing with everybody? I mean, a lot of actors that are busy.
I know. I mean, you find somebody that's good for you, and you have a good relationship with. You're going to stick with them. The problem is if it ever gets stagnant, which it does sometimes,
right.
And then all of a sudden you're not working. Then you've got to spice things up a little bit.
What about you, Patrick?
I've had about 5. You know what I mean? I mean, I remember when I was broke. I did a commercial right after college and everything, and I was broke, and I paid for headshots. I didn't have the money for it. You ever do this? And I went to the mail slot, and my agent, it was like 2 days before Christmas, and you didn't have the money for him, but he said, get new headshots. And
they always say get new headshots. Yeah.
And I fed them to the mail slot. And, you know, because he wasn't in when he said he'd be in and all this.
Oh.
And I come back like a week later, you know what I mean? And I looked through. And there are my pictures all over the floor. All the furniture was gone. He had a calling to go down south, probably because he had a lot of debt collectors after him. He went back south to become a Baptist preacher. But my shots.
But those brand new headshots are all laying on the floor, and you're like wanting. Can I get those? How can I get that?
Yeah, and it's like, my God, the furniture must have been gone when I fed them through the slot.
Sure they were.
He was halfway out the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this question,
either that or he saw them come through the door, scared the hell out of him, and he left.
this question goes to both of you guys because you guys are actors.
But he's a better actor.
He's a better actor.
That's not true.
How much of a percent do the your agents take? Because I know, because I'm in the music business, you know, and
10%.
10%, yeah.
Producers take almost 50%
Producers.
when they produce and they book a show for you.
Oh wow.
They
No.
take almost 50%
What, for music, right?
From
Wow.
bands, yeah, from the bands that I'm in.
Thank God I'm not in the music business.
I
No
got
way,
a
man.
question. Why is my phone? Why is everybody saying on my live feed here? On my it says bring them on camera. Bring them on camera.
It
So
comes
is it-
in fine on my phone.
But why is it? Why are
Because
they
you're
saying-
not pointing it at him, I guess.
No, it's a look.
Hey, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should.
Oh.
Here, I'm going to turn around on you guys there. Hey.
There you
Say
go.
hi.
Hi, I'm Jeff Sargent. I fell down. I fell down on Halloween
That's
on
a
my jumping. I
and
got
and Pat
hurt.
Yanklowitz.
Greetings.
down.
If the lovely Beverly and Diane Delano are out there, hello.
Oh wait, are you going to feed back?
Where's?
Maybe is that what
no,
the phone?
I'm
is?
watching on my phone, Jeff, and you're coming in fine. I'm
Hi,
watching on the
Joan.
screen on YouTube.
I'm
We're
going to
in
go on my
fine.
Facebook page and find out why everybody is saying.
Hi, Sharon.
Bring them on.
Hey,
camera.
Brad Benedict. Brad Benedict from Too Close to Home. How you doing, bud?
All right,
There's
cool.
JB.
Wow.
Hey, Brad.
I
what's
lost
going on?
JB.
JP is, wow.
And yeah, people are asking. There's a couple of questions on here asking about Too Close to Home.
Talk about Too Close to Home.
I just want to say that everybody asked questions about it and what happened to it and whatever. It's not really my place to talk about the status of a show. All I can say is that we have not shot any new episodes, and I don't foresee any new ones coming up anytime soon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So, and Danielle Savory has moved on to. She's doing a spinoff of Shonda Rhimes' new show off of Grey's Anatomy. It's a new show Shonda Rhimes is putting out. So there's a.
My friend just directed her in a pen commercial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, directed Shonda Rhimes?
Yeah, she did a pen commercial about how much she loves a certain brand of pen. And
Shonda Rhimes is a producer. Right?
yeah, but because she's a famous producer, she's like the modern Stephen
Wow.
Bochco.
Oh,
they did a
yeah.
commercial on her favorite brand of pen.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Isn't it? You know what I mean?
Signing contracts.
Yeah.
Signing checks. That's what it
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
Remember the one actress tried to bail and she wound up in a coma for a year on the show?
Hey, Sharon, Amazing Grace is going fantastic. We've gotten some contributions just here today that may put us over the top, I hope. So we're feeling really good about it. Yeah. And we'll go into production as soon as we have all the funding in place. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So on Return of the Living Dead, you talked about that, George Clooney being on the... because George Clooney was also on the set of Return. Because he was with Tom Matthews' roommate.
But I didn't see him. I only worked I think it was 2 nights.
I was there for one of them.
And you didn't even know that. I thought both of you knew that.
No.
I remember seeing him die, and then Beverly told me, and when Beverly and Brian from Return of the Living Dead, Brian Peck, they helped me arrange this thing at the New Beverly where I had the cast. It broke my heart because you showed up, everyone was there, and not Don Calfa, James Karen is in his
Jimmy
90s.
Karen, Clu Gallagher.
And yeah, everybody showed up, and they got
Oh, you talking about at
the New Beverly, yeah.
at the reunion show.
And
Yeah.
James Karen, we had the
Jimmy
screening.
Karen was freaking awesome.
He
Yeah,
got
that
everyone.
came.
Yeah, he's just amazing. He got everyone going early, And Bill Stout, the production designer, showed up, and I had to tell Bill, no, Jimmy Karen got him going early. But
yeah, I wish Clue Gulliver could have made it as well. But Clue, I did a movie with Clue about 2 years ago that hasn't come out yet.
Which one?
It's called Give Till It Hurts.
Tell me about it.
It's a film directed by Tom Calloway, who's done some wonderful films. He's a cinematographer, director of photography on over 100 and something films. But it's hilarious. Dan Roebuck is in the film.
Oh, Dan Roebuck.
In fact, let's we got some stories about Dan Roebuck. He used to come into our comic book shop.
Right.
Oh, he's got an amazing collection.
And he would I didn't know him as he was a big actor as he was. I go, what do you do for a living? I'm an actor. I'm going, yeah, whatever. He'd come in and we'd trade. We'd trade toys and action.
He talked
figures.
comics and action figures all night. And then,
he'd come down to the comic book shop and play cards with us.
We would hang out till like 4 a.m.
Oh, well, have you ever seen his collection?
Yes.
At his,
My friend Bob.
At his old Burbank house. The Glendale one.
Yeah, in fact.
Yeah, and then he got rid of half of it, I guess, when he got his divorce.
Exactly.
And it's still phenomenal. I mean,
in fact, that's how you and I connected on Facebook. Was a comment on. I go, I'm coming over to play with your toys.
Oh, that's right.
Right,
That's right.
and I said, this Craighead guy's a really cool head, man. This guy's really cool. No, wait, Jeff, you're not blah, 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 blah. And it was, I haven't seen him in, since the 90s. He was done filming Matlock at that time.
Yeah, Matlock.
Or Nash Bridges, I think.
Yeah.
Or he started that. This was
he
like.
was on Matlock. I know
This was
that.
1990.
90s. Because he cost me a gig. I was the floor manager on David Letterman's show on a TV movie called The Late Shift.
Oh, yeah. He played Jay Leno.
And he's wearing a rubber jaw as Jay Leno. And one of the suits passed Betty Thomas, the director. Why is Jay Leno working as David Letterman's cameraman? And she goes, honey, you look more like Leno than our Leno, so we're going to have to pay you for the day. And then heartbreaking, but, he did a great Leno voice, but it was heartbreaking to lose a gig because he looked too much like...
Oh, man. Yeah, well, yeah, he's a great actor. Dwayne Whitaker's also, he's...
Dwayne Whitaker is so great in Pulp Fiction, isn't he?
Wonderful actor.
Teaching in the Valley now.
He teaches over in Studio City, I think it's on Sunday nights. But he's a great actor, and he's in the film as well. There's Leslie Easterbrook.
Oh, I adore her.
Wonderful.
Police Academy, but very striking as well. Blonde.
So, but in Clue Gulliver's in the film as well. But I ran into Clue on set, and, of course, now Clue's like, what is he, like in his late 80s?
Gotta be in his very late 80s, possibly early 90s.
Maybe. Yeah. But anyway, he seemed to act like he remembered me, but I don't.
He's pretty sharp.
He seemed like he was really sharp, but I think he may have been pulling my leg or just being nice. But he's a great guy. I love Clue.
You haven't lived. He's like the Duke of the New Beverly. And because the New Beverly is this older theater that only has one bathroom. I remember Clue saying to me one time.
It has his name on the door?
No. He goes, well, Patrick, I guess because there was like a 10-person line. He goes, I guess we're going to Urination Alley.
I've been to that alley many times.
And I thought, I'm peeing with a legend.
Peeing with the legend.
Peeing with a legend. Let's talk about peeing with a legend, Craig.
Oh, wait, we're not going to do that, are we?
No, right now. Jeff's offering $50.
I got a story for you. When he's in the urinals pissing next to Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, yeah,
goes,
the casting office.
And you're going, how you doing? Yeah, and he goes, hey, I'm Pat. He's all, I'm Kiefer. And
he offers his hand at the
he's holding his dick and what I do.
He lets go. That's right.
Don't be and he goes, don't be a pussy. Shake my hand.
Yeah, he goes, don't be a pussy. Real, because I went like this. I went. He takes his hand off his junk and offers me. And I'm thinking, there's
you know what the worst thing you can hear from someone in a stall is next to you. Nice watch.
Oh,
oh yeah, there's a nice watch right there. But I'm not holding anything.
Nice watch. That'll get you thinking. That'll scare you out of the bathroom real quick.
That will.
Hey to Electra, Texas, my hometown.
Wow, booyah.
Sandra, booyah. Hometown.
Your favorite son says hello.
Yes, I love my hometown. Of
And to
Electra.
the world champions, the Houston Astros. Who
well, they're
won
way
last
down
night.
south.
Fuck you.
You know, I'm a Dodger fan, and I got to be honest with you. In all fairness, we don't really consider Houston part of Texas.
Oh, really?
Excuse me, they shot RoboCop there. Any place you shot RoboCop?
I've been to the live capital of Texas, and that's in Austin.
You got it, Austin.
I went there.
Awesome.
Boy, they have some great stores. I went down that
The
one
Bat
street.
Bridge, the Texas Tower Sniper, a lot of good stuff there. And Shiner Beer.
I
Oh,
enjoyed
yeah.
that
I
town.
remember.
I did my little self-tour. I was there for about a week, and I saw all of it. The bats coming out of the cave
The
off the
bats
river.
coming out of the cave was my favorite part. You know?
Under the bridge, yeah.
Austin is awesome. I went to UT there for about a week and a half or 2 weeks, something like that.
Did you ever go by the Texas Tower?
Oh, sure, yeah. I was there. Wait. Garrick said he peed next to Bruce Valanche. Is it Valanche?
Wow, Bruce Valanche, famous
Valanche,
writer.
Yeah. Garrick, is that something you want to be telling people?
As long as you didn't hold it for him, Garrett.
Derek, what kind of watch was he wearing?
Yeah, what was he?
Yeah, the only famous
So
person
how was it,
I
Garrett?
peed
Was it
next
good for
to
you?
was Daniel J. Travante, I think his
Daniel
name
J.
was.
Travanti.
Are we talking
Yeah,
about famous
yeah.
people? we
Okay,
peed
next to
aside?
it.
We want you to call in, text. Tell us
Yeah.
about your
Tell us
experience.
about peeing
Who
next
did
to
you-
famous people.
Who did you pee next to?
The most famous person I peed with after Kiefer Sutherland would have to be. I peed next to Liam Neeson
Wow.
at the Gray, and my brother's like, "Did you look?" I go, "No, I did not look.
Wow.
I did not look at Taken's junk."
Yeah.
Well, you know, you
I
could
didn't
just
look
make this
either.
stuff up because who's gonna argue with you and dispute it? You know. I peed next to President George W. Bush.
We've got a call in from our ex-president right now.
You lying
you,
son of a
no, you
bitch.
didn't. No, you're lying. You're lying. I wasn't wearing a watch.
Yeah, I peed next to Obama.
No, let's see. The most famous people I peed next to: Kiefer Sutherland, Jeremy Piven, Byron Allen.
What do you just hang out in the men's room or what?
I'm like, I wear my shirt like this and wait for famous. No, when my brother and I were at William Morris for a hot minute. That's why I peed next to Byron Allen.
Yeah, and he drinks coffee like a fish.
And I do drink coffee like a fish, so I do pee quite a bit. So
You seem like you need to pee right now. The
Oh,
way
no,
you're
no,
moving
I-
around. You're
I'm
okay.
enjoying this.
All right.
Is he doing the potty dance?
Yeah, he's doing the little potty dance in
Oh,
his
yeah,
chair.
right there, Indian style, baby.
Who'd ever think that?
Where's this conversation?
You never know what we're going
going?
to talk about coming on this show.
Okay. So
Who's the
all
most
right.
famous person you peed next to? Come on, answer us, Craighead.
Do I?
You're on your
I'm
own.
afraid that I refuse to answer that on the grounds that it may incriminate me.
You cannot recuse yourself on this question. Who's the most famous person you urinated next to?
Tyler Perry.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Was he in drag or was
Well,
he?
actually, at his house, he has like.
Oh my God! You've been to his house.
Oh, of course.
You
Or
were-
one
whoa,
of his
whoa.
homes.
We're talking the
But
super
he has
mansion.
Like, he has like
The mansion in
multiple-
Atlanta, right?
Huh?
The mansion in Atlanta.
Well, yeah, he's
No,
running.
I've been to his one here in Beverly Hills.
Wow.
But he has. But you go into the bathroom and there's like, you know, you have separate areas. But it's like you go into the bathroom. It's like you can go over here and there's like, you know, so it's kind of like he's got multiple toilets in the same bathroom.
Wow.
I would
that's
say
crazy.
when I get when I get all these residuals, when I got all this money to do a custom house, I want to have a urinal on the wall next to the toilet, or even stalls like in the garage.
Jeff showed up drunk this morning, people.
I'm just gonna get one of
Who
those.
has a stand-up urinal in their home? Nobody.
I'm just gonna get a trough.
I didn't say it was a urinal. He had separate bathrooms with doors on them. So
What
it's
Jeff-
like you can and you come out and you're like, watch. So Yes, he was in the other one.
So you didn't
There
see
you
what
go.
kind of watch he was wearing.
No, I didn't see his
So
watch.
you did a lot of work. You were in Atlanta.
As a young junkie, Jeff spent a lot of time in urinals.
you
Like a
filmed,
second home to him.
tell us about the filming in Georgia,
Yeah, did
Tyler
you
Perry
like-
Studios.
Tyler Perry Studios. You know what? And I've told this to people before. It was when I got there, and I thought there was something strange going on because everybody had a smile on their face, and I'm like going, what is going on? But then I found out everybody was happy, everybody's smiling all the time, it was genuine, and I'm like going, wow, this is amazing, and it's because he takes care of his people, he pays them well, and he expects everyone to work hard and do their job, and everybody does. So it was kind of like working at Disneyland. To be
Wow.
honest. It's beautiful, it's clean, they treat you like royalty. I have no complaints whatsoever. I mean, it's one of the best places that I've ever worked. Yeah,
How many projects of his have you worked on?
we did 2 seasons of Too Close to Home.
That because the people are late. I notice every other question is too close to home.
Oh,
when people,
really?
yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of because people they want it to come back, and Tyler just did a huge deal with Viacom, and
Viacom.
I think,
Sorry.
and I think that that maybe things in his scheduling has changed. So
So would you shoot Too Close to Home in the South?
in Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you
And
would go to
and I would live at the beautiful Georgian Terrace, which is where a lot of the actors from Gone with the Wind lived.
Wow.
While they were filming
Back there in Hotlanta?
in Hotlanta, right down there in Midtown.
I noticed. Did he? How did he start these studios? I mean, it seems like it just blew up down there. And a lot of Hollywood goes down there. Is it cheaper to film down there?
Well, yeah, and you get tax incentives, tax rebates. It's cheaper to film.
I know they do a lot of car chases down
Well, what
there,
happened
too.
was Los Angeles chased a lot of business out. And
Doesn't it break your heart?
By permitting, the expensive permits, so yeah, it became more and more expensive. And now they're making it easier to film here now. But I mean, once you chase everybody off, because see, the same thing happened in New Orleans. Everybody was going to New Orleans, and they were. And then they started charging more, took away the tax incentives, et cetera. And then they built these beautiful studios, and now
Empty.
nobody's hardly filming there.
They did the same thing with Canada. Remember that when Vancouver started jerking up the prices on everybody?
Well, Vancouver's.
Yeah, because a lot of production moved to Canada quite a few years ago, but now I guess they're coming back. I don't know.
Okay, Nina. I'll make that plug for us. Nina wants me to plug. Follow us on seedandspark.com. That's
What's
Amazing Grace, seedandspark.com.
What's Nina's
If
last
nothing
name?
else, if you can't make a contribution, follow. Just follow, because we get incentives if we have 500 followers. So,
What's Nina's last name? She's an actress, right?
Nina, yes, Nina Brissy, wonderful actress.
And she was the one in the play.
Yes, she was the drunk lady at the bar.
Again, very good. She was very good in that.
Oh yeah. And then in Paradise, she was the prostitute / angel in Paradise. Who did a great rendition of a song called "Jesus is deep inside me and he ain't pulling out."
Oh no,
That is so not PC.
that is not right.
well, that's
love
the
you.
lyrics of the song. Oh, I'm sorry. She wasn't a prostitute. She was a stripper.
Now, there's a difference.
She did,
I was gonna say, a stripper-
Yes, you're absolutely right.
But prostitute angel, I'm thinking we were curious about half of that role.
Stripper / angel, because she did a phenomenal pole dance.
We love. I just saw some exotic pole dance theme song performing last weekend. It was great. It was.
I got another offer, $50 if I'll sing "Jesus is deep inside me." I wish I knew the words.
Google it, Jeff.
How about go tell it on the mountain, all the children of the Lord.
Okay.
I'll give you $50 to stop singing, Jeff.
Okay.
Nina, you're gonna have to tell us all about this prostitute stripper role and the Bad Day dog.
Not to be confused with my burlesque girls. Don't you call them prostitutes or strippers.
We need to ask Nina about Bruce the dog someday.
Okay, let's see. What else do I need to plug? Oh, the new film, Painted Woman.
Yes, I posted that picture up
Yes.
for award winners, man. Nominated. Robert Craighead.
Oh, actually, we won quite a few awards at the Wild Bunch Film Festival in Arizona, and very proud of this film. It's a film about a woman coming into her own empowerment at the turn of the century, female empowerment at the turn of the century, which was unheard of at that time. And I play the most disgusting, despicable, nasty, mean, typecasting. But yeah.
That's where you were.
It's a Western. It's a Western.
Yeah.
You buried the lead, by the way. You wrote a movie called Catch a Fallen Star that's coming out this year?
Actually, no. That's not coming out yet. We're working on getting that produced as well. That's a feature film that is featuring. It's also Dee Wallace will be in the film. Brad Benedict,
Amanda Wiss. Freddy Krueger's first victim in A Nightmare on Elm Street. The very first person killed by Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
Gabrielle
Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah.
She's in my last book.
And also in what was that? The Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she was. What's his name's girlfriend? Judge Reinhold's girlfriend.
Right. The one who dumps him.
Yeah.
And she's also in my Buck Rogers book. One of her first gigs ever was in the old Buck. She played a really sexy mummy on Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Oh wow. Yeah, and Silverado.
Shizen. She is in that.
Yeah, no. And then that's where I just fell in love with her in Silverado.
That is a great underrated
I loved
movie.
her before, but that movie just really put me over the top.
Well, you know, that's amazing to me because she's one of those actresses they love. I wrote for Fangoria for a number of years.
Right.
And everybody loves her for the horror work, but she's in friggin' Silverado. You're exactly right.
Right,
you know?
exactly. She plays Kevin Costner's girlfriend in that.
Isn't that hilarious? You know,
and also Gabrielle Stone, who is another phenomenal. That's Dee Wallace's daughter, who is
she's adorable.
Yeah,
you know,
phenomenal.
She just won an acting award last.
She's won a ton of acting awards for a film that she wrote and directed called "It Happened Again Last Night," and it's winning awards all around the country. But yeah, and Paul Overstreet,
yes,
who we were speaking of earlier,
one of my favorite songwriters of country.
And he and I have written a couple of songs. He's writing a bunch of songs for the film. And it's about a country and western singer who goes to prison, and when he gets out, his son is all grown up, and he is estranged from his son, and it's about their relationship as far as getting back together. So it's kind of like A Crazy Heart meets Tender Mercies meets The Crossing Guard with Jack.
Wow, 3 cheery movies. I'm a little bit of The Wrestler too, I'm guessing. Did you ever see The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
What's that?
It's a little bit like The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke
That
as
was
well.
hard. That was heartbreaking too, about his relation with his grown daughter.
Do you play up the irony of a country western singer getting out of prison and finding his life has become a country western song?
His dog has died. His wife's left him.
Back
Tornado
when country
through the-
was country. Like
Tornado through the trailer park.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. Well, I was drunk the day my mama got out of prison.
That's a good Johnny Cash right
Yeah,
there. That's a good.
Well, no, Robert, you're the sole writer on this, Catch a Fallen Star?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
Yes, I wrote this. It's an idea I had for 15 years, and it's still in the process of. I'm looking for the right producers to make it. Because it's going to take a few million.
When you're writing this over the years, do you go back and change things and,
of course,
adding?
yeah.
You've already written this whole story, right?
Right.
And then you say, "Hey, I'm gonna."
Why don't you put the camera on him?
It is on him.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So So I mean, that takes
Because he
a
doesn't
lot.
want to break it.
I'm amazed at actors when they write a script and they got this cool story and then they're out pitching it.
What do you mean? How do you do that?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, it's kind of hard, especially if you're working, because you're constantly got other projects going on, and I don't have I'm not George Clooney. I don't have a staff of people working for me. So,
But you're always working,
but
which is
you're
cool.
always busy, and I mean, taking time for that and getting this script together, and then going out and getting this picked up and getting people's interest.
Well, it's just it's passion. It's whenever you have a passion for something. I left the business for 10 years, and
I noticed that you had a gap from like Dr. Quinn to
all the way up until 2010 or 11 or something.
What drove you out? What burned you out?
Well, I was on a soap opera for about 3.5, 4 years.
You were a judge.
No.
Doctor.
I was
Doctor
a detective on Bold and the Beautiful. I was Lieutenant Conran, Lieutenant Frank Conran on Bold and the Beautiful for about 4 years. And then when that gig was up, it just kind of like ended. And my agent had closed his doors and decided to go do something else. Of course, when you're on a show, you're not really concerned about your representation so much.
Right.
My manager and I had separated about 2 years before, and I'm like going, wow, I've got to start all over again. Oof. And so I kind of like, you know what? My daughter was at an age where I wanted to spend some time with her. And then, then
you should spend all your time with her. But
next thing you know, life happens, and 10 years had gone by. And I had a heart attack in 2010, I believe, or 9. And I was talking with my friend Dee Wallace, and she said, Robert, what happened was the reason you had a heart attack is because, Dee is a very spiritual person.
Yes.
And she said,
and a great person, very uplifting, very fun to be around.
Yeah, she's super. So when I was talking to her about this, she said, the reason you had a heart attack is because your heart was at dis-ease. It's heart disease. Your heart's at dis-ease. And you're missing the passion in your life. And I thought about it, and I said, you know what? She's right. I am. I'm missing the love of my life. And so I came back into acting, and I have been, enjoying every moment of it since. It doesn't matter how big or small the part or big or small the production. It's all a joy to me because I appreciate it so much more now because it was gone for so long,
No, but when you leave it and you come back to it, do you have a renewed hunger? Is it more fun? Because you've had a great career since you came back.
Oh, yeah. I think maybe it's just the fact that I'm old. Maybe Hollywood likes the old Robert. Quadja, Angela, Quadja. Yeah. Sorry about that. That's a little inside thing, man. Quadja, baby.
No.
Well, actually, what she's referring to, it was a saying that we had in football back when I was playing football that Coach Joe Loudermilk instilled in our team, and it was what it stood for. It was a secret saying that nobody knew, and it was "Quit hell, we just got here." And so that's kind of he instilled a positive mental attitude. Actually, and something that I have always followed. The name of my production company is Positude Productions, and I'm a firm believer in the power of positive thinking.
Oh yeah.
If you're negative, nothing ever gets any better.
Yeah. What's the point? Yeah.
You'll never hear him saying, "Oh, good morning." Wow, what's so good about it?
Yeah, well, those kind of people, you don't need them in your life.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Toxic personalities, I believe they call them.
Exactly.
So this Coach Loudermilk, I've seen the Loudermilk person comment on your Facebook page. Is that the same?
Wait, Coach Joe commented? Did he?
No, not right now. I'm not
Oh,
seeing it. But I've seen other.
Yeah.
They all related. Is that? Back home?
That's back home. He's being honored right now back in Brownwood, Texas, I believe, for He's going into the Hall of Fame. He played. He was a great coach. He was a fantastic coach. He was a great football player as well, baseball player. But he was very inspirational in my life. Yeah.
Speaking of inspirational, we'll burn in hell if we don't ask you about crabs.
Crabs.
Oh,
Giant mutated crabs are destroying a small town where our boy is trying to stop them.
Well, we're waiting on that one to come out. That was one of the that was the most interesting on location filming experiences, because I would fly into San Francisco and then it was like I want to say a 4-hour drive up to Mendocino.
Wine country.
You're winding, twisting, turning roads, and it was in the wintertime, and
nobody's on the beach, and it makes a perfect filming location.
But it's a great movie. It's going to be when it comes out, because there's a lot of special effects, and I know the producer director Pierce Berlsheimer. Am I correct?
Hang on, I'm gonna look it up and give you the actual name.
Our special effects buddy, Jim Ojala.
Yeah, Jim Ojala did the effects on that.
Did he?
I've known Jim a while. He did some.
And I think I mentioned it when you were filming and sending pictures on Facebook. And I said, our buddy's on that, is making the crab.
Pierce Berlsheimer.
Brolsheimer, and his mother Karen is a wonderful lady too.
Wow! By the way, God bless you for mentioning his mom. You know,
of course. She was on set taking photographs. But it was interesting about that film is I was looking on Facebook and somebody posted some pictures of a beach, and it was called Glass Beach in Fort Bragg, California, and it was just like where all of what happened was people used to dump their trash out in the ocean, and they don't do it anymore. And then so bottles and stuff would break up, and then they would, like, over time, they became these beautiful little glass pebbles that wound up and collected on this beach in Fort Bragg. And anyway, I'm like I saw this picture, and I was like going, wow, I've got to go up there and check that out sometime. That is amazing. Swear to God, 2 weeks later, I get a phone call to go and film this movie, Crabs, in Fort Bragg.
Exclamation point.
I'm staying.
It's Crabs, exclamation point.
Yeah.
Go on.
And I'm staying in a hotel right across the street from that beach.
Wow.
Did you save some of that glass and put it in a jar? Did you?
Oh, yes, yeah. Don't tell anybody, because I don't think you're supposed to.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Is that like pulling mussels off the reef?
Yeah,
or
I don't understand it.
Stealing stuff.
You're taking trash from the beach. Actually, but no.
It's polished. It's like polished rock.
Polished by the ocean.
Yeah,
it's
just
by the ocean. Yeah, it's really cool. But the film is about these crabs who were infected by the nuclear explosion in Japan.
Fukushima,
yeah. And they were swallowed up by a whale, and the whale brings them over across the ocean, and then they start, I guess, fermenting or whatever, and they eat the whale. The whale dies, comes on shore in Mendocino, and then the crabs started attacking the city, and they grow, and it's like, and they're killing people and mutating. And
so you would say crabs.
And I play the sheriff in that, the pot smoking little old sheriff in this.
Oh, he's a pot smoker.
Oh, hell yeah.
So he's sort of like a 420 Brody.
He's a 420. Yeah. What's your 1020, 420?
No, you did another horror movie right before that. Tell us about Demon Lake.
Demon Lake. Now, that movie was probably one of... God, I wish that movie would come out, but I know it's not ever going to. It got tied up in... the producers got into a fight and legal battles, but I played this character named Moonshine Jack.
Great name, by the way.
We filmed that in Lexington, Tennessee, at Pine Lake, and it became known as Demon Lake. Some great people there in that little community, and made a lot of good friends there. And I played this old moonshiner, and I would take some water from the lake and you're not supposed to swim in the lake or anything
Right,
because
right.
they're
I sense a theme in your work.
and it puts the water from the lake in just a little bit in my moonshine. But anyway, it makes you crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You do crazy pretty good, Robert.
So that movie never made it anywhere, not to
It's-
Netflix,
yeah,
not to HBO,
it
nowhere.
has never been released.
So it's sitting
and
on a
it
shelf.
probably will never be released.
So it's just sitting on a shelf
Very
somewhere.
sad. Yeah,
That's terrible.
yeah, because it was great, funny, and probably one of the most enjoyable characters that I've ever had the opportunity to play. You know, I mean, it was a lot of fun. You know?
That makes me sad. You know what I mean? I mean, when you look at, I did one where the two guys were roommates from AFI, the
Yeah.
producer and the director, and they went to war on the set. And the movie was in litigation and on a shelf for like 4 years. It eventually got out. Actually, it wasn't released, it escaped. But, you know, when you see that happen, there's so many that real money was spent, real people were hired, real locations were used, and they're just sitting on a shelf.
Yeah, well, you know, this film was actually, I think that it was, the majority of the money came from the writer-director's inheritance from her grandmother.
Oh, no.
And so basically this was like a
Passion project.
passion project of hers, and she, and it's really unfortunate that they wound up having some problems internally with the other producers involved in the project, yeah.
But sets are usually can be a lot of fun and everything. And when you have when the passion of making the movie, when everyone's happy and on the same page, but when the opposite happens, when
Yeah.
the producer or director go to war.
You know what? It does happen more often than what you freaking realize.
Oh, wow. But when mom and dad are fighting, what can anyone else do? You know? Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow.
But then it's great whenever it all comes together and everybody's happy, you know. And I've been really fortunate to be involved with a lot of those projects. So
Speaking of those projects, let's talk about a little something we call Damn Sharks.
Yes, damn sharks. I watched
Sci-Fi
that.
Channel, baby.
I watched it the night it premiered. I enjoyed that character.
No, it
Boy.
was so funny. I just ran into Jessica Blackmore just the other day. She played my partner.
Yes, yes. I love
the
her,
forest
man.
ranger. Yeah,
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
hot, man.
Hubba, hubba.
Ooh.
Well, I ran into her and her husband. I met him.
Oh, yeah, well, you know.
So you're half happy.
No, they're both great people.
We're just being assholes.
Yeah.
I love it because even a film like that could give me shark dreams, you know. Sharks in fresh water.
What?
Damn those sharks.
Yeah, the Kondelik brothers made that movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
James and John Kondelik, and
Were the sharks all digital, or were they actually any on set with you?
well, there was they had actual sharks in the Kern River.
Well,
No,
I'm a mechanical one, smartass.
No, they had like rubber sharks. They
Yeah.
had some rubber sharks.
it's-
They had like a scuba guy who had a
Yeah.
shark, and the water was freezing. So
Yeah, it looked pretty cold right there. I've been to the
'Cause
Kern River.
We filmed it in December, and I'm like going, you know, but we were in a rush to get the movie made to have it in time for
Sci-fi,
for Sci-Fi Sharknado Week.
Right, right. Because you had, if
It
you were
was
on,
Shark Week, yes.
if you were on during Shark Week, Sharknado Week on the Sci-Fi Channel, everything would run. Now, when you
I thought it was one of the best shark movies that was put out that year. Yeah, I think
let me ask you though.
it's funny. I mean, not,
Yeah, no, it was funny and there was a lot of gore. But when you're in the water with the rubber shark, does some part of your brain, animal part of your brain, say that's a shark? To you, or
Defense mode.
or was it like a pool toy by the time you were shooting?
Actually,
A
the
pull toy.
whenever I was in the water, it was the only thing on my mind was getting out because it was cold.
I don't
It
care
was
about the
so
sharks biting me. I care about the coldness biting me.
Freaking hypothermia setting in.
Well,
Oh.
but every time they do a Sharknado or a Mega Shark movie from the asylum, Damn Sharks runs right there on the Sci-Fi Channel. I mean,
I love it. I love it.
is it fun to have an evergreen like Return of the Living Dead was on AMC's Fear Fest and everything else? Chiller. Is it fun turning on something you did and knowing it has legs? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, what's always fun, and that's one of the reasons I mean, aside from the fact that I enjoyed the art and the craft of acting, but whenever I was a kid and I used to stay up late at night with my mom and watch old movies, and I would think to myself, you know, that actor's dead now, and I'm enjoying his performance after his death, and for generations to come, people are still going to be enjoying this guy's performance. That's what I want to do. So as opposed to, I mean, I love theater, and Broadway's a great place to work. I mean, I've never worked there. I would like to at some point. But to me, the art of filmmaking and making movies, that was what appealed to me, was to be able to make lasting work that would last for generations to come, for people to enjoy and remember you. And you're kind of leaving a legacy for yourself.
Is your mom still with us?
Yes, she is. Both my mom and my dad are still with
so
us.
they live to see your work.
Oh, yeah.
What's their favorite? What's their favorite movie with their baby in it?
Oh, well, they really enjoy Too Close to Home. They really love
Can't go wrong with Tyler Perry, baby.
Yeah, no, well, plus I played the small town sheriff. It was kind of like the small town I'm from back home. And
you want to creep, because you've done creep sheriffs, and this is a nice show.
Really relate to, and that's my boy.
Yeah. Halloween, they're not thinking that's my boy. They're not.
Mom is waiting for Krebs to come out.
Yeah,
there's Lloyd with his magic wand and tutu.
Yeah, they're going, oh my God, there's Junior.
What is the first thing your parents saw you in?
The first thing, probably Cagney and Lacey. Yeah.
Wow.
They pretty much, you know, and it's interesting. I think probably the last time they went to a movie theater was a movie that I was in. You know, so they don't go to the movies. My dad claims it's because he worked at a drive-in theater for so long. He got tired of going and seeing movies on the movie screen. But
sounds like your dad's just cheap.
Very possible.
Your mom's dying to see a movie and dad won't go.
Dad won't take her.
No, that's the way I am, because my wife always wants to see romantic comedies like Sleepless in Seattle and
see, that's
those
the
type
problem.
of movies, and I don't want to go and pay money to see those movies. I'm like, go with your sister or something.
That's why God gave you Lifetime.
Yeah.
That's what the chick channel's for.
You can see Robert Craighead Sr. No, honey, I have PTSD from the drive-in.
Yeah, that's why we have two TVs on our house.
I keep my membership up with my Lamley theater card, and so I get my discount. That's why I go.
Wait, why does it mean tag a friend when they appear? What does that mean? Like I just tagged you, and then I'm going to tag David Michael Ingram.
Yeah, it says add. Everybody keeps saying still bring them. I go, we're on camera. It's showing then, Robert Craighead on my Facebook.
Then Gay Kruger says allow viewers to request to join you as a guest in your broadcast. Can I?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to add Gay Kruger as a guest. I don't know how I'm all new to this Facebook Live. There you are, Gay. You rock, Robert.
Oh,
okay.
Well, of course he does. That's why he's on my show.
But it says
not about you, narcissist.
It says I'm inviting you, Gay. You know, Gay's husband has a new book coming out too. Also, actually, it came out yesterday, right?
What's the book about?
What's the name of the book, Gay? Talk to me. Okay. She's not talking to me. Oh. I don't have the information available.
You're dead to us, Gay Kruger.
Dave Ribble is his name, and he's got a new book coming out. So if you look it up, you can find it. But it's I don't know enough about it to pitch it. But,
okay.
Anyway, so let's see, what were we talking about?
You, of course.
Going to the movies in the big screen.
Yeah. Okay, so going to the movies in the big screen. Let's get back to Painted Woman.
Yes.
Painted Woman.
It's a Western, which there are not enough.
No, there isn't.
There's not enough Westerns being made, actually, but there's a big, I think there's a big audience for them. And this movie is, we filmed it in a little town in Oklahoma called Guthrie, Oklahoma.
Wow.
That I swear is all the buildings are still as they were in 1899.
I saw those pictures that you posted that were out there in the middle of nowhere, out in Oklahoma. I thought, man, that's beautiful. You're out there in the middle. It's like real. I didn't know if it was real or if it was a set, you know?
Yeah, no, it was all real.
That's all real.
It's all real. All we did was throw some dirt on the streets so that it would look like they were, it was in the period.
I drove through Oklahoma about a year and a half ago, and what I saw, man, this is beautiful here, man.
Your Trejo movie, Hooked. Joan Jett is in it.
What's that?
Your movie Hooked.
Joan Jett. Yeah.
Yeah. How was Joan Jett?
Well, that's I didn't.
Even at the rap party? Even at the rap party?
Not even at the rap party.
Oh, Joan.
No, that's with Robert Scott Crane. That's Bob Crane's son.
Wow.
Wrote and directed that film. Or it's a pilot for a series, and I don't know what's going on with it right now. But yeah, Joan Jett and Danny Trejo were both involved. Yeah, that was the other one that we did that year together. There was 3 projects we worked together. Yeah,
that's amazing.
So what's the last big Western that came out? The only one that comes to mind, and I never saw it, and I'm not gay, but it's Bareback Mountain. And I don't even know.
You could argue.
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
Mountain.
Dan was thinking the favorite position he would take if we were on Brokeback Mountain.
That's a contemporary Western. I'm talking.
Dan is looking for a bear to take him to
I'm talking about
Brokeback
the Old
Mountain.
West where you could wear a gun.
We're talking about old
spaghetti Western.
Yeah, like
now,
I would argue,
realistic.
like Clint Eastwood.
I would argue if you're going by the Hoyle, the last Western out, it would have been the giant failure of the $250 million Johnny Depp Lone Ranger.
No, how
Django.
about
Django? Oh, Django.
Django Unchained.
Won an Oscar, made money.
Right, or the other one, what was that other Tarantino movie?
Hateful Eight. You were totally right.
Right.
I forgot that was a Western because it's a closed location.
Yeah.
I always think of it as like a John Carpenter type
And what
movie.
is that? Is that the one with Jennifer?
Yeah, she's amazing in it.
Yeah, and she was nominated for an Academy Award for her
Vic Morrow's
performance.
daughter to bring it all the way full
there
circle.
You go, full circle. Yeah.
Bruce Campbell told me she was the best actress he ever worked with. She did the Hudsucker Proxy, which I believe the Coens wrote for Sam Raimi.
Well, the Hudsucker Proxy was
Paul Newman.
Was actually a play.
Was it really?
Yeah. The Hudsucker Proxy was a play years ago, and they probably converted or transcribed it into a screenplay. Yeah.
He said she remembered like 20 pages of dialogue. You know.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you have to do that. I know working with Tyler Perry, we would shoot between 40 and 80 pages a day.
How would you do that? Would you ever go with idiot cards, or would you? Wow.
No.
You would memorize.
Yeah.
Wow,
you
good
have to
man.
learn. Well, plus I'm nearsighted. See, so it's like I wear glasses.
Me too, Robert.
So
especially on the freeway, we got to read those road signs so we get off on the right exit
and see other cars coming at you.
That always helps.
Hi, Betty. How are you?
Who's that? Betty who?
Betty Craighead.
Wow.
Hey, Betty.
That's my cousin Scott's wife.
Oh, hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Welcome to the Jeff Sargent Show.
Say hi to Scott for me.
Robert, in this Painted Woman, do you get to fire
love to a
pistols?
Painted
Do you
Woman?
wear a gun belt?
No, I have a
Got a
hired
rifle.
gun.
Oh, you have a hired gun.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're the bad guy. You're the big
I'm
daddy.
the big bad guy. Like I kind of.
So you got your
simulated-
henchmen, you got your hired guns on the side.
Right, I own the town, and
So you're
I'm
like the big
rich,
bully.
Like
So
Gene
you're kind of-
Hackman type.
Yeah.
So you're kind of the big daddy in the whole thing.
Yeah, big.
Wow.
Yeah, very much. like Big
You don't
Daddy.
need to have your gun or fire your gun because you got your cronies handling it for you.
Wow.
Okay, wait. All right. So Dave Ribble's new book is The Way of the Conscientious Connector. So you can get that on, I believe, probably Amazon.
Yeah.
But it's The Way of the Conscientious Connector.
Is it a self-improvement book, or what kind of book is
I
it?
believe it is. Yes,
Wow,
I believe it
that's
is.
pretty good.
Yeah,
I can always use those.
While I'm here, I'm just making a plug for Gay and Dave. Yeah.
Hey, what about Stormageddon?
Stormageddon. That was a movie.
John Marie Mack from Detroit, Michigan is in that with you.
John Hennessy?
John Mack.
John Mack.
She played the agent.
No, well, I didn't work with her. I only worked with John Hennessy on that, who was like he was the World Wrestling Federation guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the star of the movie, John Hennessy.
Did you hit him
a
with
lot of stuff? But that was Nick Lyon directed that.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and great guy. And if I'm not mistaken, Neil Ellman wrote.
Yes,
Yeah,
wow.
so,
Check out the big brain on Rob.
Yeah. Well, see, Neil and I worked on. See, we did that, and then we did. We did like 3 projects in a row together. Two Lava, Two Lantula.
Oh, yeah. By the way, to bring it full circle again.
That was Gutenberg.
Gutenberg.
Steve Gutenberg, yeah.
Gutenberg and our buddy Noel again.
And Mike Mendez directed the original Lava
he did
Lantula.
the original,
Yeah,
right.
Your director from the Bank movie.
Hey, Usher Drake DeCastro. How you doing, bro?
I saw him pop up right
Yeah,
here.
he said, "Can I get a greet?" So he's shouting out. Here you go. This is one for you. He's from the Philippines. He's in the Philippines.
Wow, this is great.
That's a shout out from the Philippines.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you click your computer, you can hear the Jeff Sargent show in Tagalog.
Hey, there's Shannon Brown, the star of Halloween.
Wow!
All right.
Shannon Brown, welcome. Welcome. We have 2 stars of Halloween on today.
There you go, man.
Speaking of, well, since we're talking about Halloween again, we have a guest who worked on Halloween for tomorrow. We're going to have Nathalie Lopez in tomorrow.
Oh, awesome. Nathalie was...
Production designer.
Right.
Yeah, she's always busy.
Yes, but always busy.
She's a beautiful girl. Can't wait to have her on tomorrow.
That's exciting. Let's see. So Neil Ellman, what else did I work with him on? I can't remember, but we worked on like 3 projects in a row together, and then he called me to do another one in Kentucky, but I was filming in Atlanta at the time. But,
wow.
Yeah, I would love the opportunity to work with Neil again. He's a great guy. Yeah.
That's
and Nick Lyon. Yeah.
Wow. What about Shannon?
Shannon Brown. I did like 3 movies with Shannon. See, he was in Give Till It Hurts, the one I was telling you about with Dan Roebuck and
Yes.
Dwayne Whitaker and Leslie Easterbrook. And then I did a movie with him. And then we did Halloween. and so it was like on the last day of filming of Halloween, he was going to Florida to film this movie called Smothered by Mothers. And I was going, hey dude, just tell him when you get there if you need somebody, blah blah blah. I'd love to come down and work on that film. And a great guy. Within a few days, I got a call and I was flying down to Naples, Florida, which, by the way, if you've never been to Naples, Florida,
whereabouts is that?
You know where Fort Myers is?
Oh, yes, yeah. My
Okay.
grandparents live there.
Do they really?
Yeah.
It's just south of there. But Naples,
I love that area.
Naples is like Beverly Hills on the beach.
Wow.
I mean, what a beautiful place, but not as expensive,
It's great because some of the right there in Fort Myers, your backyard have canals, so
Right.
you drive down your street in your backyard, and then you can get in your boat and
That's exactly the way
Right
it
on
is.
out.
That's the way it is in Naples too. Yeah, I guess a lot of places in Florida are like that. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I hate to be the producer, but I am. We're going to have to start wrapping things up, so let's get in plugs.
Yes, plug away, Robert Craighead.
we've got.
Go ahead.
Oh, we're up 7 minutes.
7
my
minutes.
God.
Okay, well, let's go back to
I'm
Amazing
showing
Grace.
6 because we started early.
Oh, we did. Yeah, because our humble host was here. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, 6 minutes. Okay. So, real quick, Amazing Grace at seedandspark.com. If you can make any contribution, it would help us to make this wonderful film that deals with an alcoholic veteran with PTSD who struggles with alcoholism, and his daughter and her struggles with dealing and trying to help him through all of this. It's a great film by great writers with wonderful actors.
Yes.
And if you can't make a contribution, please at least click on there and click follow. Doesn't cost you anything, but if we get 500 followers, then we will get some incentives from Seasons Park.
The man just gave you 2 hours of audio entertainment. It's the least you can effing do.
Follow, people. Follow. We must follow.
Also, follow me on Twitter, Robert Craighead. Also, follow me on Instagram, Robert Craighead. Follow me on Facebook.
Star of Riptide with George Clooney.
That's one thing. There's only one Robert Craighead. I mean, that's not a common name. There's not too many Craigheads out there.
Actually, there's a lot more than what you would think. But I'm the only actor out there that's Robert Craighead.
Yes.
By the way, since we're in the last 4 minutes, you want to talk about doing, with Diane Delano, no less, Dead Rising 2. You're one of the voices.
Dead Rising 3, that was, what's funny about that is that we never worked together, but she plays my evil sidekick.
Wow.
And she has like these torpedo missile boobs.
Wow.
And she's like a Gestapo type. It's very cool. Very cool.
And it brought you back to zombies, by the way. You're
I was
full circle.
Full circle there. I was here with the zombies in that. That was a fun role. That was General Hemlock. Yeah. General John Hemlock.
Now, you have a great voice. Have you done any voiceovers for, say, cartoons or video games yet?
Well, we're talking Dead Rising 3, which is a video game, but besides that.
Dead Rising 3.
I did one.
Tomb Raider. I'm in the... I'm the main bad guy in Tomb Raider.
Who was your Laura Croft in Tomb Raider?
Camilla Luddington.
Wow, she's beautiful.
From Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
She wasn't on Grey's Anatomy at that time. And then I did... I'm working on one right now. I can't say, but it's going to be the biggest blockbuster video game that Sony PlayStation has come out with to date.
Wow.
I've been working on it for 2.5 years, on and off. Actually, I'm working on it again next week, and it will be coming out probably sometime right after around February or March. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Robert Craighead, star of stage, screen, and video game.
Thank you for coming on the show, Robert.
Thank you so much for having me.
You honored us,
This
baby.
is great, man. It just each show it just gets better and better. And
Chaotic Radio Rancho Cucamonga. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, from the
Tune
Jeffrey
in
Sargent
tomorrow.
Show.
We're going to have a beautiful lady on here tomorrow, Nathalie Lopez. She's going to tell you ups and downs of being an art director on set.
And come to Shamrocks and Chino this weekend to see Jeffrey Sargent.
Oh, yes. Oh, one plug.
I had to fix my hair.
It looks
One
great.
plug. I will be performing in my Batman Bun Huggers in Rocky Horror Live at Shamrocks in Chino Hills. We will be performing the Rocky Horror songs live on stage, full band, 10 people on stage.
Wow, damn it, Janet.
Yeah.
10 people on.
You're a
10
slut.
10 people.
Saxophones.
10
Yes,
people on stage, 2 in the audience.
watch me sing Rocky's parts. Half
Me and
naked.
Jeffrey's mother. She'll be one of the
Just a
two.
sweet transvestite.
And in the parking lot, Jeff will do terrible, terrible things or meth.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Hey, great show. Thank you again
Wow,
for coming
Robert,
in.
thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
being early, man. That's like
That was awesome.
That's uncalled
Fantastic.
for.
Mr. C, a big pleasure, a big pleasure. We need some pictures with you, and then come here, you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun.
A true pleasure.
2 hours went really quick.
You were amazing. Thank you.
No.